The NFL trade deadline is starting to get hot in here, so the Vikings should take off all of their veterans' clothes. Now leave them on. Anyways, the Vikings could and should be in the market for unloading a couple of veterans who still have value, maybe larger contracts. So let's talk about today. Here are 5 perfect trade destinations for 5 Vikings veterans. So start off at the top. Number 1, Riley Reiff to the Cowboys. So Tyron Smith down, out, as well as Zach Martin's been dinged up. Lyle Collins out. Their offensive line is a mess. Their quarterback position is even more of a mess. Dak broke his ankle. Andy Dalton got cheap shotted against Washington. But also, somehow, some way, they are still in the NFC East race. Like, they could win this stupid division, maybe even at 6-10, and then they'll host a playoff game in Jerry World. And by that time, they may have full capacity. So you never know. Things could get weird. Anyway, but also I think that if the Cowboys do think that they are slightly in this race, having a competent and confident left tackle at an extremely discounted price, thank you, Rick Spielman, by the way, would be great. As well as, Zeke Elliott behind this horrible offensive line can absolutely not get anything going. The quarterback, whoever the hell it's going to be, is going to be a sitting duck back there. So now, get the pride of Iowa, get the decent hot ham and cheese for lunch sandwich, Riley Reiff, get him in there. Trade compensation, third rounder, sure. Even as a reduced contract, maybe you can push that up to a second. Come on, one time. And then what the Vikings should do is start Ezra Cleveland, not at that stupid jabroni right guard. That's not where he's going to play long term. Put him at left tackle, where he's always played in college, where he's always played in high school, where he's going to play in the National Football League and get him reps there. And then start Kyle Hinton at right guard. Face or Oli Udoh. Don't really care. Next up, number 2. Perfect spot for Vikings veteran trades. Anthony Harris to the Browns. So this one, frankly, probably should have happened in the offseason. That was the place that the Vikings were lining up. Kevin Stefanski, obviously very familiar with Anthony Harris, what he can bring to a defense. But also, since Grant Delpit went out with the injury, Andrew Sendejo is starting for the Browns. That's not where you want to be. If Sendejo is starting for you, you're going to have a bad time. So Anthony Harris, for the second time, should go take Andrew Sendejo's job. And the Browns need to counter those aerial attacks. They got tore up versus the Steelers, 38-7 yet again. Stefanski just having scorigami PTSD flashbacks. And also, they got to be able to stop the Chiefs if they want to take that next step. Because the Browns, nice story, fun story, sure. Kevin Stefanski, respect. That offense is back on track. The defense is a lot of fun, but getting one of the best cover safeties in the league on the back end of the defense, let's go. Probably worth the 3rd-round pick. The Browns have all the cap space in the world. They lead the league in cap with $31 million. So 3rd for Anthony Harris. Come on down. All right, next up, perfect trade destination number 3, for Vikings veterans. Kyle Rudolph to the Bengals. So we talked about this one when we did the Kyle Rudolph video. Going back home, it's from Cincinnati, all that stuff. Bengals do have $9.3 million in cap space. Rudy does have 3 years left on his deal, except they're all non-guaranteed years, so the team could easily leverage him out, get onto a smaller number. He's currently the 5th highest paid tight end in the league. Burrow does need that reliable tight end. Plus, Rudy got to be a little bit irked about that that damn Irv Smith Jr. rising up and becoming the tight end 1 of the Vikings. So going to a spot where you can play in front of friends and family, where you can get a lot more work in the passing game because the Browns are going to catch them out all the time. And then you can bring some leadership to this young Bengals team and then play beyond there. Go ahead. Sure, why not? 4th round. Get it done. Next up, perfect trade destination number 4 for Vikings veterans. Harrison Smith to the Patriots. This one hurts. We're getting into these last 2. Don't want to trade these 2 guys, but whatever. And Patriots are a weird dichotomy with Belichick as the de facto GM, because Belichick will give players away, before he has to pay them or a year before they're done. He had Chandler Jones and Akeem Hicks on the same defense, and they got rid of both of them. Great. But also, Belichick is weird because he does like bringing in these late career vets that can bring some purpose to the team. So, Corey Dillon, Randy Moss, Junior Seau, Rodney Harrison, for God's sake. So, Harrison does have 3 to 5 years left of his prime, and maybe he could bring what Rodney Harrison brought. It's a Harrison thing, as well as he's got 1 year remaining on a very manageable contract. And the Patriots, they have a lot of safeties. The McCourty brothers, aren't quite what they used to be. Second round pick rookie Kyle Duggar I like, except he's still getting his feet wet. And then Harrison, even though, he is a safety, he's a de facto linebacker. I think Belichick and company could have a lot of fun with that, but that would be kind of spendy. So I don't think the Patriots would part with their one because it's going to be a pretty high first-round pick this time around. So 2 twos for a 30 next year going to be 31-year-old Harrison Smith with 1 year left on his deal. That hurts. That hurts, but that one is super close. Lastly, perfect spot number 5, trade destination for a Vikings veteran. Adam, Jerome, Ezekiel Thielen, nowhere. But if they had to go somewhere, I guess the Browns. So we'll talk about this at length. I do have a lot of thoughts about this, but OBJ is out. Kevin Stefanski obviously is very familiar with Adam Thielen and his capabilities, and it would have to be a lot. It would. I mean, we're talking about, even though Thielen is 30, he's got 4 years remaining on a very team-friendly deal. Also, $0 goose egg dollars guaranteed in his 21 base salary. So if you want him, it's going to be spendy. I'd say a first and a third. The Percy Harvin special is going to be the bottom line, just like the absolute bare minimum. It may have to go up further than that because the Vikings do have some leverage in the spot because they don't have to trade him. Because obviously, Thielen does still bring a lot to this table. I think he's got 4 or 5 years left in his prime. So, yeah, that one's the least likely. But hell, Reiff, Anthony Harris, Kyle Rudolph, deuces. But your thoughts? Perfect landing spots for 5 Vikings veterans. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.